Thank you all for coming to our first Chamber Awards soiree. This ceremony has taken many forms and has been done in a variety of settings, with the first one occurring in 1954. In the past, a sit-down dinner gala was the setting for this event. I can remember my folks coming to this very event. But more recently, we handed out our awards at our annual meeting. And this year, the board and myself decided we wanted to shake it up and throw a much-needed live social event, not quite the sit-down gala, but with a similar festive atmosphere. And that's why you're all here tonight. As I said, awards for excellence, thank you. Awards for excellence have been part of the Chamber for nearly 70 years, well over half of our 117-year existence. I think it is the need to acknowledge, to thank, to hold up as an example, to congratulate, and ultimately to celebrate the contributions folks like you all make to our community. So thank you for joining us as we do just that. Before we get started, I just want to take time to thank our two sponsors for this event, the Richards Group and Edward Jones. I also really have to thank Bar 580 for hosting us this evening. And they have been awesome. We had a quick pitch event before this, which is part of the business plan competition that BDCC puts together. And we had our quick pitch event here, the Brattleboro one, and they sponsored that as well. So we're really, really thrilled with Bar 580. And what a great place to be outside on a lovely deck. And I also want to give a shout out to the Vermont Jazz Center for the excellent music you've been enjoying. And to the Hangry Traveler for providing tonight's delicious fare. And by the way, proprietor Jackie Reynolds is one of our newest members. So thank you all. I'd quickly like to acknowledge members of the board of directors of the chamber. So any of you current directors, if you want to stand up and just give a wave so we all know who you are. Some in the back. Okay, let's get started. Our first set of awards are the Special Recognition Awards. These traditionally go to businesses celebrating special anniversaries. According to a Forbes magazine article quoting the US Bureau of Labor, 75% of new businesses survive the first year. 69% survive the first 2 years, and 50% make it to 5 years. So for all of you who know the blood, sweat, and tears it takes to maintain a business and keep its trajectory moving upwards, these awards are for you. At this time, I want to introduce Kate Traskos, who is the executive director of the Downtown Brattleboro Alliance. She also just joined the chamber board. She'll be an ex officio member of our board. We're very happy about that. Kate is my sometime partner in crime in promoting Brattleboro, and we do a lot of collaboration together. I'm really excited about that. She will be helping me tonight, so let's get started. You've got the first one.
Thank you, Greg. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. So tonight, I am going to start with recognizing Vermont Hempicurean. Vermont Hempicurean offers plant-based relief from pain and stress while supporting Vermont hemp farmers and producers. They offer curated, high-quality, locally produced cannabinoid-rich products, including tinctures, topicals, gummies, capsules, beverages, and flour. The staff consults with customers to find potential solutions to temporary or chronic issues. Products are available in-store or online at vthempicurean.com. The Chamber is pleased to recognize Vermont Hempicurean on its 5th anniversary. Scott, can you come up and receive your award? Oh, with me? Oh, great. Okay, this one's me again. Right? Okay. Next, we'd like to recognize Fire Arts Vermont. Located on West River Road, also known as Route 30, in Brattleboro, Vermont, was established in 2013 by internationally well-known artists Natalie Blake and Randy Solon. Both Natalie and Randy each have over 35 years of experience in their fields of clay and glass. Originally housing their business at the Cotton Mill in Brattleboro, they formed a partnership and won a business plan competition put on by their landlord, the BDCC, an Economic Development Corp., giving them $20,000 as seed money to purchase a building. After 7 years of trials and pitfalls, they bought the building once known as Tom and Sally's Chocolate Factory. They began a complete renovation of the space, creating a dynamic gallery, ceramic studio, space to teach classes, and large-scale public art projects, as well as wonderful hot glass shop and a glass-blowing arena, allowing locals and travelers a front row seat to live glass blowing. Visitors can see beautiful glass sculptures being made for collectors and galleries across the country, or sign up for a class to make your own glass piece. The newest edition of Fire Arts Bakery Cafe has made Fine Arts Vermont a great stop for artisanal organic fare and local products in a relaxed environment where everyone is welcome. Fire Arts has become one of the top destinations in town, combined with 3 entrepreneur women, Chicks in Charge, employs 20 people in the 11,000 square foot building, bringing joy and creative economy to Brattleboro and the surrounding areas. The Chamber is pleased to recognize Fire Arts Vermont on its 10th anniversary. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Acrecona. Acrecona was founded in 1988 by Terry Martin, a 28-year veteran with the Vermont State Police. Acrecona assists clients with personal, company, fleet, and agency safety consulting expertise, specializing in the reconstruction of motor vehicle collisions. Terry has worked closely with attorneys, offices of the Vermont Attorney General, public defenders and state attorneys, law enforcement, and the general public, many here tonight. Traditionally, his services have extended to corporate America and others including DuPont, General Motors, Chrysler Corporation, John Deere, Middlebury College, and the Vermont Association of Snow Travelers. Among his numerous special recognitions, the Chief's citation by Chief Bruce Campbell of the Brattleboro Police Department for the training of and working with their major accident investigation team. The Governor's citation by Governor Howard Dean for service and dedication to the state of Vermont and recognition for 28 years of service. The Chamber is pleased to recognize Acrecona on its 35th anniversary.
I'm going to take your picture.
SERVPRO of Windham and Windsor counties. SERVPRO of Windham and Windsor counties was established originally in Keene, New Hampshire in 1978. SERVPRO is southern Vermont and southwestern New Hampshire's leading provider of emergency cleanup and restoration services following fire, smoke, water, and mold damage. In 1988, ownership of SERVPRO was taken over by area locals Richard and Susan Paul. In 1993, the Pauls moved the SERVPRO franchise from Keene to Westmoreland, New Hampshire, in need of larger space to accommodate the growing business. The move also improved the company's proximity to the larger service areas developing in southern Vermont. Richard and Susan's sons, Ryan and Derek Paul, began their full-time careers at SERVPRO in 2002 and 2003, respectively. Looking to better serve their Vermont clients, the Pauls opened an additional location in Ascutney, Vermont in the fall of 2021. Ryan and Derek Paul officially took over ownership of the business while Richard and Susan moved into retirement. The Paul brothers are excited to be at the helm of this locally owned and operated business and to continue building on what began decades earlier. When disaster strikes, SERVPRO of Windham and Windsor counties is here to make property damage, quote, like it never even happened. So the Chamber is pleased to recognize SERVPRO of Windham and Windsor counties on its 45th anniversary.
Oh, that's okay. Hilltop Montesorri School. Hilltop was founded in 1972 by a group of parents looking for a preschool experience for their children and has grown into a fully accredited Montessori school serving over 120 students from the toddler program through middle school. The mission of the school is for students to practice responsible independence in a caring community of curious, critical thinkers and thoughtful citizens. Over 300 students have graduated from Hilltop. On Saturday, June 10th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Hilltop invites the community to campus to celebrate with activities for all. It will be a day filled with music, circus arts, crafts, food trucks, games, tours, and celebrating community past, present, and future, a vision for learning and life. The Chamber is pleased to recognize Hilltop Montessori School on its 50th anniversary. I'm happy to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you celebrating anniversaries. We will now move on to our special honoree awards. Thank you, Kate, for your help with that. So our first award, the Chamber Member of the Year. Our first special honoree award this evening is for Chamber Member of the Year. It was first handed out in 1993, making this the 30th anniversary of this honor. It was first given to C&S Wholesale Grocers. The spirit of the award has always been of corporate citizenry and the passing on of success to the community writ large, of support and outreach in an effort to enhance the quality of life for those around us. For this year's Chamber Member of the Year, it was always about community and helping others. Our Chamber Member of the Year began their life in New York. It was the love of science, and in particular chemistry, that led them to a career helping people and ultimately a full life in Vermont. Our honoree graduated from college on June 3rd, 1978 in Albany, New York, and was married on June 10th, just 1 week later. The groom had already come to Brattleboro 2 years earlier to accept a position at a historic local pharmacy, operating since 1940, which at the time was located where the Tyne restaurant is today. It was later moved to the current Everyone's Books location. It was now 1979, and our newly married honoree took up a job as the chief pharmacist at Brattleboro Memorial Hospital. She was there for 5 years when she left to be more support to her young sons at home. But 1982 was a seminal year for our honoree and her husband when the pharmacy where he had been working was offered to the couple for sale. They jumped at the chance to own it and never looked back. Eventually, a need for more space to house the growing business led them to a historic building just across the street, the former Methodist Church building, which following its religious career had housed retail space. The Brattleboro Center for the Performing Arts, called the BCPA, and also a nightclub, among other businesses. But this iconic building will forever be associated with our honoree. They saw the opportunity and possibilities, purchased it, and after a year of major renovations, finally opened to the public in 1993. The business grew greatly in volume as well as local affection and respect. The tragic loss of our honoree's son in 2001 and husband and business partner in 2006 sorely challenged her mettle. But ultimately, Elliott Street remained the business's home for 30 years. The growing financial challenges of operating an independently owned pharmacy, primarily due to low insurance reimbursements, coupled with a discovered embezzlement from a once trusted employee, would eventually force the closure of this beloved icon, neighborhood icon, and the last family-owned pharmacy in town. Throughout its tenure in Brattleboro, it served the public in a way no chain variety could. Personal consultations, after-hours access during personal or family crises, friendly support during challenging healthcare treatments and medications are all hallmarks of this community-centric business. I'm sure many of you here have been taken care of in any number of these circumstances. When I asked our honoree to name the thing which she was most proud of, without hesitation, she responded, "Giving my patients the best care I possibly could." We really offered 24-hour service, and it was our pleasure to be part of the community. I loved my job! Exclamation mark. There have been numerous accolades bestowed upon our honoree. At the national level, there have been acknowledgments from Merck for outstanding achievement in the profession of pharmacy, the National Community Pharmacists Association for accomplished leadership, and Bristol-Myers Squibb for leadership, just to name a few. But the ones that meant the most to our honoree and her husband, the Community Bank Award given by Brattleboro Savings and Loan for outstanding service to our community, Certificate of Appreciation from the BUHS Work Study Program, and the favorite of all, from Little League Baseball, in recognition of outstanding and dedicated interest and support to Little League Baseball. Again, it was always about community. The Chamber Member of the Year award is technically given to a business or an organization rather than an individual. But as we all know, people are what make a business special, and in this case, it's impossible to separate the owner from the entity we're celebrating. The Chamber would be remiss if we failed to acknowledge the many contributions and untimely closure of this downtown Brattleboro institution. The Brattleboro Area Chamber of Commerce is very pleased to award our Chamber Member of the Year to Mary Giamartino and the Hotel Pharmacy for over 40 years of dedicated service to people of Brattleboro.
Thank you very much for this.
I'll hold it for you.
But it was my pleasure, our pleasure, to be welcomed into this community and raise our sons here. And my co-workers were the best of the best. And thank you so much.
And just so you don't get tired of hearing me droning on, I'd like to invite one of our board members, Connie Burton of Burton Touch-Free Car Wash. She will be presenting the next award for Entrepreneur of the Year.
I feel as though I needed to be up on a stool, see? But I guess you can all see me, at least my head popping up over the edge of the podium. Our next award is also the newest award, Entrepreneur of the Year. This award was created because we wanted to honor the spirit, energy, and hard work that goes into building a business from the ground up, or taking an existing business and catapulting it to the next level, doing it in such a way that it benefits the entire community. There's often great risk involved, both personal and financial. But the payoff is the creation of jobs and revenue and the enhancement of the very fabric of a thriving community. Most of you have probably heard the expression, born in a trunk. It usually refers to the children born of people in show business who are always on the road to the next job. In an unusual way, this phrase could apply to this year's Entrepreneur of the Year, except in this case, it refers to the business that was born and not themselves. Our Entrepreneur of the Year grew up in Houston, Texas. He was one of 6 children and describes himself as a sensitive caregiver, always cooking for everyone. We built a fort, and my one brother would nail in. My other brother would design it, and I would hang up the curtains and sweep it. As a young man, this Texan came east to Massachusetts. And while in the depths of addictions and struggling badly, he decided to head north and credits Brattleboro's meetings with getting himself sober. In 2015, 6 months into his sobriety, he took a job at Supreme Fitness. He met his future wife there, incidentally. And it was around this time that he began dreaming of opening a food truck. He shared this idea with practically every customer who came into Supreme Fitness. I watched their eyes kind of be interested and then glaze over. Dude, I'm trying to work out. However, this was valuable for our honoree because he began connecting with the community. A voracious reader, he began poring over all kinds of publications about putting together a business plan. He came across an article about validating the concept, which essentially means before you go into debt, before you borrow money from loved ones, before you spend your life savings, gather what you have and give your idea a try. Validate the concept. It essentially answers 3 questions. 1, am I good at this? 2, do people want what I'm selling? 3, do I enjoy doing it? It's a concept that sticks with him today. Brattleboro's free stuff curbside tradition provided him with a dry erase board for signage. He already had an igloo cooler, his trunk, if you will. The recipes and inspiration for the food came from his Mexican grandmother. Hand-rolled tortillas, tacos, and refried beans would become the staples of his menu. With a borrowed $70 in his pocket, he bought the ingredients and prepared his initial inventory. His first day out was near the creamery-covered bridge on Western Avenue, and he had an epiphany. In his own words, I'm this dude out here on the side of the road. I wouldn't stop if it was me. I remember that moment. I had a decision to make. I could lean this marker board against the cooler and go out, hang out by the wood line, because that's less creepy. Or I can hold it and look at every car that passes by, smile and wave. He chose to embrace it and be uncomfortable. That was the beginning. His initial offering of 30 tacos yielded only 1 sale of 2 tacos. Down-crusted, he wheeled his little cooler home ready to give up. His girlfriend, later his wife, let him pout for a while, and then told him he was going to go out and do it again the next day. The rest of the week proved more successful, selling out each day, with a banner day on Friday of 150 tacos. And the locals were already beginning to talk. 9 weeks into it, he suspected his operation was probably illegal. And a conversation with the Brattleboro town manager's secretary confirmed this. However, he learned that he could sell without a permit if he leveraged another storefront's license. So then Avenue Grocery became his new home base. Unfortunately, success led to a copyright suit over his name. So Tito's Tacos became Tito's Tacoeria. He built the new business slowly but surely, purchasing a hot dog cart, using GoFundMe money, along with matching dollars from a Brattleboro Town Community Fund. He introduced catering, which would also prove highly successful. Eventually, he went from a hot dog cart to a trailer, and soon there would be walk-in restaurants. And while his business was soaring, he began to resent the time and exhaustive efforts it all took. He recognized the importance of family, so managing his work-life balance was critical. He sought personal coaching and did a deep dive into who he wanted to be at the end of his life, what kind of father he wanted to be, and what kind of business he wanted to run. This reset breathed new life into him and his burgeoning enterprise. At this time, he hired his first employee to help lift the burden. He had learned many lessons by doing things the wrong way, but it all led to tremendous personal growth and a set of company values that he still teaches today in every new hire orientation. It's his mission and vision. His managers work to be partners in the business, enjoying profit sharing through a store owner-operator program. In his own words, basically, if my store managers are going to act as store owners, they need to be paid as owners. Today, his company numbers 2 restaurants, Greenfield and Brattleboro, boasting some 70 employees. And he'll be adding 20 more employees when the 3rd restaurant opens in Keene. His 2 food trucks act as barometers. They test the different locations to determine viability of a future restaurant. As he says, we don't open a location until we have the leaders to run it. So our business only grows as quickly as we can grow the leaders within our business. Business is such a great teacher. His business philosophy. What I know for sure is that I never would have had the success had I not embraced the discomfort and been vulnerable and just take the chance. Today, he always gets a kick out of seeing his early roadside customers come into his restaurants. It has come full circle. For exemplifying the qualities of a true entrepreneur and investing in the community against great odds and personal sacrifice, the Brattleboro Area Chamber of Commerce is proud to name Tito Garza our Entrepreneur of the Year.
So thank you very much. It means a ton to be up here, Greg. I get asked from time to time to speak at schools and in front of classes. And every time I'm up here in front of like a big group like this, my mind immediately goes to 7 years ago, that first day on the side of the road. My wife gives me a kiss, honks, and leaves, and I get this feeling in my stomach like this is uncomfortable. But I draw on that feeling because today I kind of have the life of my dreams. I've got a beautiful family. You know, I've got appreciation when I walk into a restaurant. People value me. I get to be a part of people's growth, and they get to be a part of my growth. I've got a couple people here, former employees that have become friends. So, yeah, I'm super grateful, and I want to specifically say thank you to the community of Brattleboro, because I don't know if I'd find the success that I have today if it wasn't like Brattleboro that embraces kind of weird, you know, and cool and unique things. My family and I were actually traveling to California, and there was a guy out there selling churros out of a backpack. He's like, he one-upped me on that one. But and I'd also like to thank my wife, my partner. You know, she's believed in me more than I believed in myself at times. And there would be times in the trailer when I didn't have any employees, I didn't know what it meant to lead or manage, and it would be a blizzard outside. I'd roll over and I'd say, honey, I'm not going in. And she would say, yes, you are. You're going to go open the trailer. If no one comes, you can come home early. And I'd go and open the trailer, and there'd be plow people there waiting for me, and I'd have a great sales day. So, and then, yeah, I just thank you for this, and I appreciate it, and yeah, I feel grateful. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, buddy.
Our last award this evening is for Person of the Year. This is our oldest award, dating back to 1954, when Harold Putnam became the first so honored. A lot has changed since those days, especially socially and technologically, but the very essence of the award, honoring someone who has made a significant contribution to the greater community, remains the same. Our Person of the Year was born in Detroit, but began their working career as a police officer in in New Canaan, Connecticut. Now, if you know our honoree, this idea will either surprise you or make complete sense. Seeking challenges in other directions, our honoree decided to try their skills in banking and secured employment as a teller in nearby Stamford. Interestingly enough, their future spouse was working for the competition across the street. The chief credit officer of the bank decided, quote, he saw something in me and moved me ahead of a bunch of people to go through their credit training program. He was my mentor, and if he hadn't taken that chance on me, I don't know what direction my career would have ultimately gone. A new position opened in a larger regional bank in Greenwich, but the day it took him 2.5 hours to go 17 miles home made him question his status quo. Why are we doing this? I don't want to spend my career chasing after a bigger house and a fancier car and working to belong to some country club when I don't even like to play golf. There's got to be something better out there. And as if the fates had been listening, a headhunter trying to fill the position of a regional commercial lender in Brattleboro, Vermont, inquired if our honoree knew of anyone who might be interested. Yes, I do know someone. That would be me. He interviewed at Merchants Bank, now Community Bank NA, and thus began his long relationship with Brattleboro. In 1993, a promotion led to an assignment in Bradford, Vermont, but ultimately found success at a bank in Lyndonville that was, quote, in big, big trouble. During his 3-year tenure there, he was able to help turn the bank around, and it went from losing $1 million a year to making $1 million a year. There were other banking assignments during these years, but in 2005, the chance to come back to Brattleboro presented itself, something he and his wife had always wanted to do. They were grateful to be able to return and make it their home again. Brattleboro Savings and Loan promoted him to president and chief executive officer just 2 years after hiring him, replacing the retiring George Haynes. He maintains, quote, the people at BS&L were the best people I could ever have hoped to work with. He made fundamental changes there to focus on business banking and lending. They were a small bank, not able to provide to larger businesses needing big capital, but he saw real opportunity. What with all the local banks being bought up by larger out-of-state entities, his bank could stand alone as a real local lender. They could help the smaller to mid-sized businesses and give them the attention they needed. Rules and decisions could be made right there because the management and the board of directors was all local. Achieving and maintaining a certified B Corporation status for the bank is high on his list of achievements. Quote, it really exemplifies what the bank is all about. It's about people and planet. Profit comes last. He's most proud of being able to help people buy a new home, help people to expand a business, help people stay in their home when they get into trouble, always asking, how do we better our communities? These efforts extended to the development of the bank staff. The focus has always been in, quote, identifying the younger people in the bank that we saw as having potential in leadership positions, sending them to school, training them on the job. We always saw our role as looking back to when we were young bankers. Let's do the best we can in providing opportunities for young people. There are many success stories at this Brattleboro Savings and Loan. Just talk to our honoree. And during his tenure, he was involved with a number of important projects that are still very close to his heart, some of which included, during the pandemic, at the height of the pandemic, when the government rolled out the PPP loan program, employees of BS&L would be at the bank at 2 a.m. to process applications for local businesses, to make sure those applications didn't get delayed because of bigger banks' automated processing systems. When all was said and done, the bank provided more than $40 million in loans to businesses in the community it served. NECA, Brattleboro Savings and Loan, was instrumental in being part of the transition to a new board and the return of the founders to the organization following an internal board and management crisis. The Retreat Farm, as a primary sponsor of the signature food truck roundup, which our honoree considers to be among the best assets the area has. Quote, incredible. Windham County Humane Society. Our honoree has been both a personal and corporate supporter throughout their growth. The Brooks House, following its great fire in April of 2011. Quote, it was too large a project for us to take on by ourselves, but I went to the board and said, we've got to be part of this. We need to do whatever is necessary to bring this building back and support these guys. Ultimately, they took over the role as the sole lender. What makes our honoree proud, most proud? Quote, contributing to the overall health of Brattleboro Savings and Loan and helping to foster an environment that provides opportunities for people to grow in a banking career and to provide banking services to all of the communities that we serve as a true community bank. I'm sure a while ago you figured out whom our Person of the Year is. So without further ado, for his dedication to community and support of countless business and nonprofit efforts in Greater Brattleboro, the Brattleboro Area Chamber of Commerce is proud to name Dan Yates our Person of the Year.
Oh, Greg said it all, so I'll be very brief. I'm incredibly humbled by this award, and in fact, I'm not supposed to have known about it, but I was tipped off early, and I said, there must be some mistake, because when I think about the other people that have received this award over the years, people like Bob Tortolani, just to name one, it's like, those are people that really deserved it, and I don't see that there's anything special that I have done over the years other than to love this town and these communities, which have given so much to me since Edie and I first moved here in 1990. It's a magical place. It's got its warts, but it's a magical place. And other than marrying my wife, the best decision I ever made was the decision to move to Brattleboro and then to come back to Brattleboro, because there's no place else on earth like it. Thank you very much. It has been an amazing privilege for me to be here.
So that's our program for this evening. Congratulations to all of our honorees. And again, I just want to thank our two sponsors for this event, the Richards Group and Edward Jones. Special thanks to Derek Soldensky at the Bar 580 for hosting us and for making my life so much easier during this project. And again to Eugene Uman and the Vermont Jazz Center. And also to Jackie Reynolds of Hangry Traveler for providing the food. And one shameless plug I will make. ad reps from the Reformer will be selling ads for our next chamber directory. So consider doing a display ad. They sell like hotcakes, and they're in the they don't sell, they're free, but they're in the 2 busiest welcome centers in the state, and they really fly off the shelf. So I hope you will consider doing a display ad. And thanks to all of you for coming out to support our honorees and the Brattleboro Area Chamber of Commerce. Have a lovely rest of the evening. There's more food, have drinks, and the Vermont Jazz Center will be playing some more music for us. So thank you all.